My name is Heather, and I'm a survivor of relationship violence. So I was 17 when I met him. I met him online, and he was 33. It happened very quickly. Again, it was my first relationship. I had no experience of what a healthy relationship was. While I had a lot of things going on in my life personally, he was always there to listen, and I felt like he really listened to me and wanted to hear what I had to say and was supportive of helping me through those times. Looking back, there was definitely signs of control. At the time, I didn't think that was control. I just thought that was what a healthy relationship or what a relationship looked like and was. It was fairly quickly, probably within another few months, I moved in with him. And I wasn't honest with my family. I grew up on the island and he lived on the mainland, and I wasn't honest with my family about where I was going. I, I came into his life. I didn't have my own life and identity. Um, I went out with his friends and did things he wanted to do in his family, and there was never an opportunity for me to have my own identity in that relationship, and especially in the beginning of the relationship. And it was very much me just coming into his world. What I wouldn't consider violence in the beginning. Again, looking back now, I know it is. But I thought, again, that was just normal, and I didn't see it as violence. And then things would slowly escalate more, where he would be more verbally abusive, physically abusive. Um, Basically, when you see the scope of or circle of abuse and all the different kinds, it was, looking back now, there was every single kind you can there. It was emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, sexually, everything. He portrayed a very normal, healthy, happy relationship to everybody around us. Everything that happened was behind closed doors, but to family, friends, he was this lovable, caring, generous, nice guy who would give the shirt off his back to anybody. Because I moved away from the island to the mainland, I cut everybody out of my life. I didn't stay connected with any friends, barely my family. I didn't have friends for a long time. I was working, and any relationship that I had with them, with coworkers or anybody, was just work. I didn't have any friends outside of work. I would go to work and I would come home, and I would live in his world, I guess you can say. He would encourage me to have friends and meet new people, and if we were to have a conversation about it, he would be encouraging. But then when it actually came down to me doing anything, it became I was doing something wrong. No matter what I did, I was always in the wrong, and I could never do anything right. I didn't have a lot of confidence going into the relationship. And I stayed for so long because I didn't think I could do it on my own. I didn't think I could leave. I didn't think I could live life without him. He would tell me all the time how I would be nothing without him. In the 13 years, I had thought about or tried to leave. I can't even count how many times. I finally got to the point where I had made friends at work. I was in the same job for over 5 years, and I never even thought it was a possibility to go to the police and report things. And it was a couple weeks before I finally did. And I told her what had happened one night. It finally got to the point where I just couldn't keep it in inside. I constantly felt I was crazy, and I opened up to her at work one day, and it got the thought in my head of that there's another way to get out, and I can get out safely. Another weekend went by and the same thing happened, and it was a violent weekend, and the fights would always continue. So it would be the weekend, it would go into the work week, and there was one morning where the fight continued over from the weekend, and I texted her that morning and I just said, I need coffee. And she knew that that just meant something more. And I went into work that morning and she had a coffee for me. And I broke down to her and she held my hand and brought me into the police station and held my hand the entire way. And without her, I tell her this all the time and she doesn't understand it, but without her, I don't think I would be alive today. I think the biggest supports were friends and family. Again, in the last few years, I was able to develop relationships at work that I was able to open up to them, and they had opened up to me about their experiences. And unfortunately, a lot of time we have a lot of similarities in our stories and could relate and understand each other on a different level. And they were able to provide me the support after, to see that they had gotten out and to see that they were able to, there was life on the other side. They were able to move forward with their life and are doing so much better and just stronger for it. And that gave me the hope for myself to get out. And they, again, still to this day, still support me. As it's still a daily struggle to deal with, even though it's been just over a year since I have left him. It's still very difficult to go through all the emotions. In the last 10 years, I never considered going to the police or reporting anything. In a sense, I didn't think it was bad enough to. I didn't think, I made in my head what he did was normal. So I was wasting people's time if I went to the police. There's resources that people really need help, and they have bigger issues to deal with than my little lonely problem. I had an amazing constable who took my first statement, and I felt like I was talking to a friend when I talked to her. She was supportive, relatable, I guess you can say, and just, she listened and she didn't judge me. I had never talked about a lot of the things that I had talked about with her, and it was just such a natural conversation. I could just talk to her and felt supported, and that whatever I said, she believed me, and there was going to be consequences for what he did. And it was early that morning that I went in, probably, and within a couple hours, After I left, she gave me a call and she told me he was arrested, and it was personable. I can't explain more than she was a friend. She was just there and supported me and was absolutely amazing. The Abbotsford Intimate Partner Violence Unit was absolutely amazing. They took over our case a couple weeks after everything started, and when I thought I couldn't have been more supported, I was. They checked in with me all the time. Again, they believed me, reassured everything that I was feeling. And coming forward with the charges going forward with charges just gave me a sense of accountability. Support is huge. Resources that I never even thought would be available. To get counseling, I now have 48 one-hour sessions approved of counseling, which is absolutely amazing. I couldn't imagine this last year without starting counseling, and just different kinds of support with whatever you're going through. Just being open and honest of how you're feeling, and they support and guide you the whole way through. The hardest times in your life can also be the best, in a sense. It was my lowest points, and I was very vulnerable with a lot of people, and that has made our relationships so much better and so much closer, and we have this bond now that I never even thought I could have with a friend. Reaching out to people and knowing that people really just want to help you. Since I'm sort of out and I have friends and people I know who have been going through similar situations, and I just want to help them the way others had helped me. And family or friends can support victims by just being there. A simple text, a phone call, just checking in on a regular basis. Personally now, as kind of on the other side, sometimes I feel like I'm annoying if I keep checking in on them, but I know being in that time, you just feel really alone. And so knowing that somebody is just thinking about you and they care about you and they just want to help you, and it doesn't have to be talking about what's going on. It could just be a simple hello. It could be let's go do something to keep either talk about it, to be there if they need it, or just to get their mind off of things.